Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Vini Vyomavad Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Chaitanyam Sarvagam Sarvam Sarvabhuta Guhashayam Yat Sarva Vishayatitam Tasmai Sarva Vide Namaha. Ahamev cha bhuteshu sarveshveko nabho yatha Mai sarvani bhutani pashyan evam na jayate. Evam pashyan na jayate. Seeing this way, one's own self, one is free from the cycle of birth and death. So what is the vision, the perception of oneself? Ahamev cha sarveshu bhuteshu. And the self of all the beings, yatha nabha, just as one space, which appears to be in different ways, like part space, etc., in fact one self of all the various spaces, because the various, etc., are all the upadhi dharma, which do not affect the space. Similarly also, I am the self of all the beings, in spite of all the upadhis. Mai sarvani bhutani, all beings are in me, superimposed upon me. Thus one who sees oneself as one non-dual self, evam pashyan na jayate, then there is no need for being born. Seeing oneself as non-dual, seeing oneself as complete, as whole, not excluded by anything, not excluding anything. So when one sees oneself as whole, which is what one is always seeking, then there is no agenda left. One agenda becomes fulfilled by this vision of oneself, najayate. Nabhahyam madhyadovantah vidyate nyat swatah kvachita. Swatah, in reality, from one's own self standpoint, there is no externality, internality, no bhahyam, no madhyatah, antah. Yes, as far as body is concerned, there is something within the body, something without the body. Body is in the middle. But from the space of consciousness, there is no within, no without, therefore no middle. Meaning that one is free from the identification or measuring oneself from the upadhi. Abhakhyabhyantashte sabhakhyabhyantaro hyajah tasmat shuddha swayam prabha. Therefore I am shuddha. Ashuddha. The impurity can be there is an interiorness, exteriorness, middleness. Interiorness will exclude exteriorness. Exteriorness will exclude interiorness. Each one of them is limited by the other. If there is limitation, then there is impurity also, because limitation is there, boundaries are there. Therefore, one is mortal. Tasma Shuddha Swayam Prabha. Therefore, I am Swayam Prabha, Shuddha, ever pure. Niti Nityadi Shastrebhya Prapanchopashamodvaya Vignatadi Shastracha Naiva Jneo Hyatonyatha. Samanyena Saraprapancha Sparsharahitatve Shrutim Udaharati. Neti neti ityadi shastrebhyah अर्थात आदेश है नेति नेति. This shastra vakya which negates everything that is qualified. So all vishesha are negated in the Atma, meaning negating thereby all the notions or complexes about the Atma. What binds or creates the idea of bondage or the notion of bondage are all different visheshas or different qualifications. Each one binds me. You are unqualified. You are of all the visheshas, there are all limitations. Papanchopashamodvaya. The Mandukya Upanishad. Avignatadi Shastracha Anyatevata Dvedat Kyanopanishad. Nivignya Yataha Anyatha. And that one is not to be known in any way other than this. Then continue the verse 72. The Tika says Tasmadesham Tanda Priyam Yaditan Manusha Vidyuhiti. These devatas do not like, yet etat manushyaha viduhu, that manushyaha, human beings, would know Brahman, which is limitless, which makes them free from all sense of lack or want, which makes them free from all desires and agenda, which makes them free from any need to do any action or perform ritual to fulfill their agenda, which makes them free from need of making offerings to the devatas. So he says in a suggestive way, not in a primary way, but the devatas do not like that this person should pursue Brahma Vidya. As though, because devatas would lose their client as though. So it may be said that they may not like this person pursuing the knowledge of Brahman, which makes them redundant. Ideas make them redundant for him. This Shrutehe evam advayadi lakshanam atmanam janatah devaha phalapraptim vignandeti chet. So this statement can be interpreted as meaning that the devatas come in the way of gaining the reward of this knowledge. Even the knowledge comes, then devatas will interfere or put obstacles to attaining the result of the knowledge. This is just to say that there is no distance between knowledge and the result anyway. Mayavam, meaning that even devatas also cannot bring any obstacle. This is only to highlight the nature of Brahma Vidya. So the verse 72 says, Sarvasyatmahame Brahmached Viditam Param Sa Atma Sarvabhutana Atma Hyeshamiti Shrutehe. Aham Sarvasya Atma iti Brahma Viditam Chet, Param Brahma Viditam Chet. Param Brahma Viditam Chet. If Param Brahma is known in this manner, in which manner? Aham Sarvabhutana Atma iti. That I am the self of all the beings. In that manner one knows oneself as Brahman, the self of all. Sa Atma Sarvabhutanam Atma Yesham iti Shrutehe. In keeping with the Shruti, Athayo Anyam Devatam Apaste Anyosu, etc. All these devatas are there for whom he becomes like a pashu. And so devatas like that this fellow remains ignorant. Therefore they as though bring obstacles even to gaining his knowledge, let alone getting the outcome of the knowledge. Bhashyakara explained that this is only said figuratively that you should please devatas, meaning that you should have the grace of devatas also to remove obstacles on your path. But still in negative way. Devanapi atmabhutatvat vidushaha. How can devatas bring obstacle to him? Obstacle in gaining knowledge? Or obstacle in gaining the outcome? How can devatas do when he is the Atma of the devatas? Meaning that one cannot hurt oneself. There will never be. Vignashrutehe avidvad vishayatvat. This Vignashruti, the devatas bring vigna, obstacle, is only for the ignorant people, not for wise people who know the self as the self of devatas. Also because sarvasyatma ahameva iti. And the self of all, that includes devatas also. Tasyana devasya na bhutya ishade atmahesham sa bhavati iti. Again it is said in this one, tasya devasya abhutya ishade. So abhuti means parabhava. Even devatas also cannot bring parabhava. Devatas also cannot overcome him. Devatas also cannot defeat him, so overcome him. Meaning that become obstacle in his attainment of the outcome or result. Wise person is on his way to moksha, and devatas also cannot overpower him because he is their very self. Atma shesham sa bhavati. So that's the last part of this verse. Atma shesham iti shrutehe. Atma shesham iti shrutehe. So Atma shesham sa bhavati. The whole Shruti statement is tasya na devasya na bhutya ishade Atma shesham sa bhavati. So that part is quoted in the verse. Sahatma sarvabhutanam. Because tasmat tatsaram abhavat. By virtue of his knowledge, he became everything. He became the self of all. Evam brahmajnanavato deva vipasyatva siddhe. Therefore, the brahmajnani, the wise person is upasya, he is worshipped even by devatas. Devahi upasyatva siddhehe. He becomes upasya, he becomes adored even by the devatas. Nutasya devapashyatva shankapi asti. So he cannot anymore be devapashu. When this person was ignorant, he was always propitiating devatas, seeking their favor, and making offerings to please those devatas. Like a pashu or an animal, like an ox, serves a master to gain the favor of the master, so that it will get, its food and drink and livelihood. So it has to please the master. So also an ignorant person always is seeking to please the devatas because they are the karmaphala datas or the giver of the karmaphala. Therefore, an ignorant person who is always seeking something, and therefore, what is the relationship he has with devatas? He thinks of devatas as those who will favor him, fulfill his desires, looks upon devatas as those who are needed to fulfill my desires. And that is why an ignorant person is compared to pashu or an animal. Asayo anyam devatam apaste anyoso anyaham asmiti. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad said that when one looks upon devata as different from oneself, and therefore in the worship of devata, this duality that I, the worshipper, is different from devata is worshipped. Nasaveda, he does not know. That is how Brihadaranyaka Upanishad describes ignorance. He is seeing duality in oneself and devatas. Yatha pashuhu, he is in the category of pashu or an animal. Evam sa devanam, just as an animal is for the human beings, so also this person is for the devatas. So evam brahmatma jnanavato upasyatva na tasya devapashutva shankapi asti. He becomes even adored by the devatas, and where is the question of his being the pashu of devata? So, ital na kutaschit bhayam. Otherwise, the pashu always has fear. The master may punish him. If that ox also fails to do what the master wants, then he will be punished. The horse will be punished. The ox will be punished. If they do not strictly follow the command of the master, then you will be punished with some kind of a tool. Well known, human being is a cruel entity, and so punishes the animals. He doesn't care what the animal feels, what the animal wants. He wants animal to do what he wants him to do. Therefore, punishment is very common. Therefore, the poor animal is always afraid of this man, that he may punish me. So when I am seeking favor of the devatas, I am always afraid that they may get displeased with me. They may curse me. They may create obstacles in my way. Therefore, there is always fear. When there is desire, and when I am dependent upon somebody for fulfilling my desire, with that kama, with raga, the bhaya is always known. With raga, bhaya, krodha. Raga is there, attachment is there, expectation is there, always a fear in my mind that my expectation may not be fulfilled. So, this is a relation of fear. Worshipping devatas, pleasing them, seeking their favor, and thus one's own sense of well-being is dependent upon the favor of the devatas. If they are not favorable, I'm not well and I want to be well, therefore always a fear. Kutasthit bhayam asti. When he discovers himself as a servant of devatas also, so devatas also cannot overcome or overpower or create obstacles or punish their own self. Therefore now there is no source of fear for the wise person. Na kutaschit bhayamasti na vibheti kutaschanedi. From no source whatever now the wise person has fear because he sees everything his own self. And one cannot have fear from one's own self. Dvitiya dvai bhayam bhavati. When the other one is there is possibility of fear. There cannot be fear from one's own self. So next verse is Jivaschet Paramatmanam Svatmanam Deva Manjasa Devopasyasya Devanam Pashutva Chanivartate. Jivaschet Paramatmanam Svatmanam. Jiva knows Paramatma his own self. Svatmanam Paramatmanam Devam Anjasa Veda. When the Jiva Atma knows immediately the self-shining Paramatma is his own self, as my own self, Devopasya Saha, he becomes the Upasya, becomes adored even by the Devatas. Devanam Pasutvacha Nivartate, and therefore is released from the state of being an animal to Devatas. So these Shrutis are quoted here. Yadevam anupashyatyatmanam devamanjasa. So this devamanjasa, atmanam devamanjasa. The first line comes from this statement, wherever that statement is. But then, yada evam anupashyati atmanam devamanjasa. Anupashyati. When one sees one's own self, in keeping with the Shastra and the Acharya, what's the nature of Deva? Ishanam bhudavasya tato nivijigupsate. Says Kathopanishad. Ishanam bhudavavyasya bhutasti ishanoham bhavishyasti ishano. I am the Ishana, the ruler of the past, present and future. I am the ruler of time. The death is in the realm of time. When I am the ruler of time, naturally I am free from death. And death causes fear, therefore I am free from fear. Natada vijigupsade gopayadam ichchadi. Now there is no need for him to protect himself. I am always seeking to protect myself from various sources of fear. And so, death is of course one important source of fear. Natada vijigupsade. Natada gopayatam ichchati. He no more needs to protect himself. Sarvesmai deva balimavahanti. Taittiriya Upanishad. Sarvesmai deva balimavahanti. All the devatas bring gift to this person, the wise person. So devopasya, he becomes the upasya. They are adored or worshipped by the devatas. Here devatas are all the organs, the presiding deity of all the organs of perception, action, mind. He is the very self of all of them. So we can see in our personality how the eyes see for the sake of the self, not for themselves. The ears hear not for themselves, for the sake of the self. So all all these devatas do whatever they do to please the self. In that sense, all the organs of perception bring the gift of the knowledge of the sense objects to the Atma. Sarve asmai devaha balimāvanti. Sarve devaha asmai balimāvanti. All the devatas bring bali, the gift to this person. Udham pranamannayati panam pratyagasyati maddevamanasyanam vishve deva upasare. Shri Kathopanishad says, all the devatas worship him. Tamevam vidvan amrutaiha bhavati. Knowing that self, the vidvan wise person becomes immortal here in this body itself. It is so there is no fear of death because he becomes immortal while in this body. Yuduktam satyasandho vimuchyate. Verse 66. Vacharamanamatratva sushuptaditrikam prasada satyognischahamityam satyasandho vimuchyate. He is abhisandhi. He is awareness of himself. One is naturally aware of oneself because self is self-effulgent. But more often than not, a person is asatya sandhi when one looks upon oneself as the jivatma, as a limited being. There is asatya. There is not the true nature of the self. So looking upon the self as quite contrary to what the self is asatya sandhi. Therefore, looking upon the self, knowing the self as the self is, as I am, Satyo Jnascha Ahamiti. I am Satya, I am Jna, I am awareness. I am not the Upadi. The awareness enlivening the Upadi. So there is a constant awareness of oneself being the awareness, consciousness, the self. So that is the awareness one has. That means that one is awareness of the true nature of oneself. Satya Sandha. Thus one who is aware of Satya, or one's awareness is in keeping with the reality. Awareness shall be always there, but then I am aware of myself as truly that I am. So Satya Sandho Vimuchyate, this person becomes liberated. He is liberated. It is not that because of Satya Sandhi he is liberated. The Satya Sandhi only dispels the Asatya Sandhi, that's all. But there was no bondage to begin with. I felt bound because my abhisandhi, my awareness of myself was that I am only this much. Because of taking the upadi to myself, I always thought to be myself as limited being. So thus my awareness, abhisandhi about myself was my being a limited self. So then I am deprived of the limitlessness that I am. That's why I feel limited, bound. So only a sense of bondage was there that goes away. Satya Sandho Muchyate. Thus one who comes to know one's true nature becomes liberated. So what is said there in that verse 66 is Tatsputayate. It's clarified here. Ahameva sadatmagnya shunyastvanye yathambaram ityevam satyasandhatvat asaddhatana badhyate. Ahameva sadatmagnya. I I am Sadatmagnya. What is Sadatmagnya? So the Tika says, Sadatma chaso jnasya Sadatmagnya. That's the Karmadhaya Samasa. I am Sadatma as well as Jna. Sadatma, I am the self of the nature of Sat or existence, as well as Jna of the nature of consciousness. I am ever of the nature of existence, consciousness. Iti evam sat. This is abhisandhi about oneself. How does the self reveal itself in his heart? Esha sarveshu bhuteshu godotmana prakashate. That Sat Swarupa Atma is there, Atma of each one. The prakashate, that Atma as though does not reveal itself as it is. Now Atma reveals itself as it is. Whatever avarana was there, merely vikshepa was there, and those obstacles are removed. Atma always reveals itself as Brahman. It's the mind that distorts that perception and concludes that I am limited being. Tushyate tu agreya buddhya sukshmaya sukshmadarshivai. The buddhi is eka agreya buddhi, sukshma buddhi. Then buddhi no more distorts, that's all. Atma always reveals itself as Brahman. But then I perceive that Atma through the medium of my buddhi. Atma as though gets reflected in the buddhi. And I look at my reflection and conclude who I am. When that buddhi becomes sukshma ekagra, then reveals the Atma as it is, like a mirror which is clean and straight. And that's how my abhisandhi, my conclusion about myself, my understanding of myself is true to my nature. I always have that conclusion, always have the opinion or the so-called knowledge, which is now in keeping with the truth of myself. Sadatma chaso nyaschedi sadatmagnya. Only Sat and Jna. Sat and Chit and Atma. Now what is Sadatma? Sadeva somne idam agrasit ekameva advitiyam. What is Sat? Sat is the ekameva advitiyam, the one non-dual cause of the universe, the self of the universe, one non-dual self of the universe. Tat Satyam, that Sat, which is the Upadana Karanam, self of all is Satyam, is truth. So Atma, and that is the self. Iti, so therefore, Ahameva Sadatmagnya. Aham Sadatma, I am Sadatma and I am Jna. Sadatma, Sat is my Atma. And therefore that is Tat Satyam, Sa Atma, Tat is Sat. Tat Satyam, Sa Atma, what is Tat? Tat refers to Sat, which is the Upadana Karanam of the creation. Shunyastu Anyahi, that's interesting. Anyahi Shunya iti. Devoid of Anya. Devoid of the other one. Yat nanyat pashyati, nanyat shrunati, nanyat vijanati sabhuma. Where one does not hear the other, where one does not see the other, one does not know the other. The hearing is there, seeing is there, knowing is there. The other is not there. So when one does not see the other, not we stop seeing. Seeing takes place at the level of eyes, hearing takes place over the ears, knowing takes place over the mind. The other is not there, because other was a superimposition, it was a projection. What I see other than myself, there is a projection. There is no more that. So that is how Shunya, devoid of the otherness, devoid of duality. Because that Anyat says Vacharambadam, Vikaranavadayam. There is no such entity to Anyat because it is only the product of the speech. That Ghata is a piece, all right, or is a word. Anything that is called Anyam other than Atma has no reality other than the word. That's all. This universe of names and forms has no reality other than the name. That's all. Meaning there is nothing other than Atma. Atma is Shunya, devoid of other. Not Shunya of the Bauddhic Shunya. Maybe that's what they meant also, who knows, But anyway, Shunya means devoid of the other. So Tika says Vacharambadam ityashrutyartho darshitaha. Vacharanam vikaranamodayam mritrika ityeva satyam. So Sat is Satyam. Everything else is nothing but there is no reality other than the speech or word. Example, Yatha Ambaram iti dushya samsarga shunyatvat shuddhayati drishtantoktihi. Yatha Ambaram drishtanta, like the space. So when you make a pratignya, then you also will give the hetu or reason. Yatha Ambaram shunyam tatha aham shunya. Just as the space is devoid of anything else other than space. Dushya samsarga shunyatvat. The space accommodates everything and still remains devoid of it doesn't get tainted by anything. Space accommodates even the dirty things, ugly things, stinking things also. But does not get tainted by anything because drushya samsarga shunyatvat, being devoid of samsarga, any association, contact with drushya. So consciousness either illumines everything, is devoid of any contact with the other, because there is no other at the level of consciousness. Drushya enjoys the vyavaharika satta. I enjoy the Paramadika Satta. The Vyavaharika Drashta is affected by the Vyavaharika Drishyam. But the truth of Drashta is the Paramadika Satya, and that's not affected by the Vyavaharika Drishyam. Shuddha ityartha yatha ambaram shuddham tatha aham shuddha, meaning Shunya, devoid of all impurities, devoid of otherness, devoid of duality. Iti evam satyasandhatvat. So when one sees oneself in this manner, that's called satyasandhi. Then my abhisandhi, my awareness of myself, is keeping in the truth of myself. And then my abhisandhi, everything also is in keeping in what it is, vacharambha. What is Atma eva satyam. So Atma evedam sarvam, all it is Atma. So not only the abhisandhya or himself is Satya, but everything also is Satya, that's all is Atma. Asadhata, asataha hata. Hata means one who discards. So one is given up asat or mithya. By knowing it is mithya, that's all. That anya is asat. Asadhata na badhyate. So you can become Sat-sandha or Satya-sandha in your abhisandhi, in your awareness. If asat does not have any place, then only you sat abhisandha or abhisandha. Satya-sandha. When in abhisandhi there is no asat. Asadha, because he has discarded asat. But how? by knowing everything else is asat or mithya. Asaddhata anurabhisandhirahita hai astaskara. There the example of a thief is given. A person, if the person has committed theft, always an idea going on that I have committed a theft, I have committed a theft. When he is interrogated, did you commit the theft? I have not committed. So what he says different what he thinks. The abhisandhi is of wrong abhisandhi, the opposite abhisandhi, like taskara. A taskara, one who is not committed theft, he is very clean. So one who looks upon Atma as with superimposition, then always the Sat is involved. Because even when I think of Atma, the Upadi also gets lumped together. So Asaddhata, having given up identification Asat, identification of Upadi, that is all. It's identification of Upadi that creates in me this mix-up of the self and non-self. Asaddhata means one who has given up the identification, asat or non-self. Nabadhyate, the one who has committed a theft is punished. One who is innocent is not punished. Because who is innocent? What he says is what he thinks. His thought and word, both of their alignment, that's called innocent. The thought and word are not in alignment, is called a hypocrite. Therefore, na badhyate, bandha anartha hino bhavati. The identification with Sat brought in what? Anartha. Of the nature of bondage. Becomes free from the anartha of calamity of bondage. So yasa tatra na dahyata aitadadum sarvamiti. So Chandogya said that sa yatha tatra na dahyata satyasandha. The one who is innocent, even if he is, holds a burning iron piece, it's not burnt. That is a very tough test, of checking whether the fellow is speaking truth or not. Evam vida jnanavad itare pasubhuta shocyaha bhavanti. Evam vida jnana abhavad. On account of the absence of a knowledge of this nature, itare, ignorant people, pasubhutaha shocyaha bhavanti. Pasu is always dependent, always seeking mercy. That's the pasu. Because the animal cannot provide for itself. The animal is left to its own natural habitat, there is no problem. But we divorce the animal from natural habitat and we domesticate it. The problem is domesticated animals. Not animals who live in their own habitat. There is no problem. This wonderful human being, first of all, deprives them of their own habitat, brings them to a new habitat where they are totally dependent upon the mercy of this master. In his own habitat, the ox would have taken care of itself because nature has provided. But you separate that animal and then now you brought him into an environment where it cannot take care of itself. That's what has happened to a human being. If I was in my own habitat, which is limitlessness, then I was self-sufficient. I did not need anybody's favor. But I am now brought a new habitat. The ignorance has brought me a new habitat with the jivatvam, the identification with this body. And thereby become totally helpless, always seeking favor, always feeling a sense of lack and want and seeking favor. That is a pitiable situation I have come to. So animal is in a pitiable situation. And so also this poor Jivatma is in a pitiable situation. Itare Pashubhuta Shochyaha. And therefore they are to be pitied because he is in a pitiable condition. Darshan Athaye Anyathatha Vidu Anya Rajana Tekshaya Lokaha. This comes from the Chandogya Upanishad. Showing how the wise person has the Sarva Lokamachara, that he has the freedom to move about everywhere. On the other hand, one knows the self in this other way. Atma eva idam sarvam. Atma eva idam sarvam. This is a reality. When you do Atma only is this much, confined in upasi, he becomes Anya Rajana. Anya Rajana, Yesham, Anya Rajan. They come under the sway of another king. Swaraj Bhavati. By this knowledge, one becomes Swaraj, one becomes sovereign, becomes independent, free, comes under his own sway. So he is sovereign. So wise person is compared to Swaraj, a sovereign, totally free from all compulsions. Whereas the ignorant people are described Anya Rajana. They come under the rule of other kings, means other devatas, the whole world. Ignorant person is ruled by everybody. Because ignorance will create desire. And depending upon the desire, I am ruled by one upon whom I am dependent upon for fulfilling my desire. As desires change, I come under the rule of different entities, Now I am seeking something from the devatas and from the king and then from the etc. From authorities who can fulfill, who can favor me. Always seeking their favor. Anya Rajana. So the ignorant people who look upon themselves as limited beings, they will feel a sense of lack or want, therefore have desires, therefore depend upon the mercy of others. They are ruled by other kings. Swaraj, who is ruled by himself, compared to that, they are ruled by other kings. Kshaya lokaha bhavanti. Whatever somebody else can give is always limited. Even devatas also, whatever they give you, what is given is always limited. Kshaya lokaha bhavanti. Therefore, that in lokas are worlds which are perishable. This is a way of saying, the ignorant, describe ignorant people. Krupanaste nyathaivatah vidur brahma param ye swarajyo nanya druksvastha tasya deva asanvashe. From all Shrutis, everything is collected here. Ignorance and knowledge, the statements describing knowledge and also statements some describing ignorance. Krupana te. Ye param brahma at anyatha ukta vaiparityena anadahutaya viduhu. Anyatha eva ataha viduhu. Ataha anyatha viduhu. Ataha anyatha means anyatha different from, contrary to ataha what it is. So knowing the self, contrary to what the self is, Atma vedam sarvam, all this is Atma, Atma is everything. But Knowing Atma other than me, knowing Atma is limited. Ukta Vaiparityena. Ukta means what? Atma Vedam Sarvam. All what is said here also in this text. Atma alone is everything. Vaiparityena. So one instead of knowing oneself all, knows or takes oneself to be limited being. Anatma bhutataya viduhu, not atma bhutataya. Take anatma is atma, and therefore knowing oneself contrary to what one's true nature is. Te kripanaha, kripanaste anyathaeva ataha viduhu. Kripana shochya. Kripana miser shochya. They are pitied in fact because they are not able to utilize the wealth or the treasure that they have. You know Kripana. Kripana means a miserly person. He is a wealthy person. Who doesn't have anything is not called miserly. Healthy person. But he cannot spend. Meaning that he does not have the benefit of all the wealth that he has. So ignorant person also, he is a wealth of limitless Atma. Looking upon the self as limited, deprived of the limitlessness, the true wealth, therefore I am miser. Not able to derive the benefit of what I have, the wealth that I have. Not only that, they always feel poor. They suffer from poverty. A Kripana is the one who suffers. If I have a lot of money and I don't spend them, that may be a different matter. That's, my freedom, my prerogative. I think I don't have anything. Even though I'm a wealthy person, I think I don't have anything. Now that is called shochya. He doesn't have anything and thinks he doesn't have, alright. Has everything and thinks he doesn't have. And behaves like the one who doesn't have anything. Who doesn't have always feel sense of deprivation. I don't have this, look at this fellow has that fellow has that, this fellow has that. Thus one who feels always deprived. Shochaha, they are objects of pity. Ye param brahma anyatha viduhu. Those who know other than what it is. Or atmanam anyatha viduhu. Swaradeha ananyadruk. He ananyadruk. Anyadruk came earlier, Anyadruk means looks upon anatma as atma. Ananyadruk, now in his idea there is no anatma at all. He knows everything as oneself. Atma vedam sarvam. This is what Upanishad says. Atma vedam. Atma eva vedam sarvam. There is no anya at all. When the wise person, everything is atma. There is no anya, there is no anatma. So ananyadut means one from whose perception the anya has gone away. There is no anatma anymore. All there is atma vedam sarvam. All there is atma. Saswarad. That comes again from Chandogya. Saswarad bhavati. He becomes a sovereign. Becomes a ruler of one's own self. Compared to Anya Rajana, they become ruled by other kings. Swastha. Swasmin stha. Swasmin sthitaha. One who is nishtha, dividing one in one's own self. So here the Upanishad's Vakya that is quoted, Evam Vijanan Atmaratihi Atma Kridaha Atma Mithunaha Atmananda Swaswarad Bhavati iti Shruti. Again Chandogya. Evam Vijanan Atma Evam Sarvam. Knowing Atma is everything, knowing thus Atmaratihi revels in himself. Atma Krida sports with himself. Atma Mithuna also gets absorbed in himself. Atmananda becomes the Ananda. So Atmananda becomes the nature of Ananda, which is self. So therefore, the Rati, Tushti, Tripti, all this Ananda he gets from his own self. Because Atma is Ananda Swarupa. Atmananda. Atmani Ananda yasya Atmananda, one for whom Ananda is in one's own self, or oneself is Ananda. Saha Swarad Bhavati. He becomes a sovereign. This Shruti hai udaharan, thus that's the Shruti, Swarad. Ananduk Swarad Bhavati. Tasya deva asanvashe. Tasya sarveshu lokeshu kamacharo bhavati iti. Again Upanishad says, Tasya sarveshu lokeshu kamacharo bhavati. He has the free movement. Kamachara, unrestricted movement. Sarveshu lokeshu, all the worlds. Meaning that he has attained all the worlds. So you can freely move only in your territory. In somebody else's territory you cannot freely move. Even you move in the territory of a king and you are a subject, still you cannot move free because there are rules that the king has. Only one entity doesn't have to follow any rules, that's the king himself. So the king who is the sovereign Lord, he is free to move as he wants. He has made the rules. You and I have to stop at the red light, red traffic light. The governor doesn't have to. His pilot comes and then there is siren, he goes right, left, yellow, red, yellow, whatever the light is. He is a ruler. He is not ruled by the lights. Thus, Sarveshu Logeshu Kamachara Bhavati, that's called Swaraj. So in that sense he is a sovereign. That he has the freedom to move wherever he wants. He has the freedom to attain whatever he wants. Because already he is Atmananda, there everything is already acquired, attained. He doesn't need anything else basically. That Ananyadruk. He doesn't see anything, he doesn't need anything. That means he has got everything. Tasya deva asanvashe. From Purusha Sukta, Narayana Sukta. Yastvevam brahmano vidyat tasya deva asanvashe. Yastu brahmana evam vidyat. The brahmana who knows in this manner as described earlier. Tasya deva asanvashe. The devatas are also under his control. Vashe. Vashe means the devatas are also under his control. Vedahametam purusham mahantam adityavarnam tamasah parastat saevam vidvan amriteha bhavati. So this is how he knows the self as immortal. Therefore, evam with brahme. So referring to the earlier statement, how he knows himself as the self of all. Vedahametam purusham mahantam. Now I know this Mahan Purusha as myself. Evam vidyat. The Brahmana, the wise person knows thus. Tasya deva asanvashe. Tasya deva vashe asanna. The devatas also come under this way, in a way. Because he knows himself as the self of devatas also. So Tika said that asan iti arthe asan iti chandasam. In that Shruti means tasya deva asan, vashe asan, bhutkal in the past tense. So all devatas came under his sway. Asyam artha yastyam brahmano brahmanishta evam vedahametam purusham mahantamedi ukta prakarana brahmatmanam vidyat. When the Tikakara explains that part of the mantra, This evam brahmana. What is brahmana? Brahmanishtaha. Evam vidyat. What is evam? Vedahametam purusham mahadani dukta prakarana brahmatmana vidyat. One knows Brahmatma, Atma is Brahman. As Vedahametam purusham. I know the Mahan Purusha as my own self. In that manner, Brahmana, the Brahmanishta, one knows. Tasya vidusha devaha vashe asan vashagaha bhavanti. For that Mahapurusha, devatas also come in this way. They also bring all kinds of gift to this Mahapurusha. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashyakrutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Bhavatyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari